So apparently, psychologists call tradition, they face uproar from conservatives. I guess like conservatives are the only people left on the fucking planet that have common sense. But you also, and by the way, like this is the article, right? Let me look at this shit. Gender roles, cisgender, gender bias, gender roles, masculinity ideology. Including anti-femininity, achievement. Like, imagine, okay, so, what is masculine ideology? Achievement. How the fuck is that a bad thing? Eschewal of the appearance of weakness. I mean, look, imagine this, right? We're going back to a prehistoric time. Can you guys visualize this shit? We're in a prehistoric time. And the hunter, the man, like comes to the cave, and he didn't manage to hunt shit. Right? Now there is no welfare. There is no government to be the daddy. No, like if he doesn't hunt shit, the people in that fucking cave, they starve to death, right? Now, how should he behave? Right? Like he can start crying and being worried about it, and then he panics everyone in the fucking cave. What does that solve? Absolutely nothing, right? It doesn't solve anything. So if you go to the people in the cave, right, like the 5 kids there, and you're like, well, you know, I couldn't hunt shit. Like, we may starve to death tomorrow. They're not going to be happy, right? Like, they're going to panic. Or, you can just hold it in. You sit in front of the fire, and you meditate silently. Right? Like, you try, and you're thinking, you know what, maybe tomorrow I can hunt something. This is why men, you know, like, now instead of standing in front of the fire, they stand in front of the fucking television. But, like, think about it, it makes sense, right? Like you if you show weakness, who benefits? Who benefits by showing weakness? Right? I mean, and when you do show weakness, because there are examples with Jordan Peterson pissing his eyes, Kyle Rittenhouse pissing his eyes, Kavanaugh pissing his eyes, you get the social justice activist on your fucking ass. You know, making pictures of that, sharing it, laughing at you, mocking you, ridiculing you, trying to break you. Like, there is absolutely no positivity in showing weakness. And by the way, men, they do show weakness, just not to the public. Right? They do show weakness in their family, they show weakness to their close friends. But, like, just because men don't go out and bitch in front of the public, that doesn't mean that, they don't have emotions and feelings. And look at this. Like, so what else is masculinity? Adventure, risk, and violence. But like, motherfucker, sometimes violence is necessary. You know, like if you walk on the street and someone gropes your wife's ass, like what do you need to do in that situation? Like, please tell me. If you are on the street and someone tries to beat up your kid, like what do you do? You know, but even then, I will tell you why this whole paper is considering masculinity to be toxic. It's due to the fact that government is now the masculine, right? Like everyone else is to be a pansy, and the government is the strong force that provides, right? You need money, you go to the government. You need welfare, you go to the government. You need protection, you call the government. Like literally that. The chat government. I love this one. Oppression includes discrimination against and or systemic denial of resources. Oh, shut the fuck up. Every human being on the fucking planet, regardless if they're woke or not, they go to work and they produce resources. And the way they distribute the resources is as follows. First of all, they're going to take care of their needs, right? Clothing, food, water, housing. You know, like that's the first thing that every fucking human does. Then, they're going to care about their family. Their immediate family. Their wife, their children, then their parents. If there's any money left after this, they may give to charity. They may give to friends. Some may not give at all, by the way. And this is true for woke and conservatives. Like, this is not an ideology thing. It's just reality. Like, some people just don't want to give. It's fine, you know, whatever. But This is the principal thing with the resources, right? Like, if everyone is going to go to work, is going like everyone wants as many resources for themselves as possible. This is human nature, right? Like, and you can notice this, that no matter how woke a person is, the moment they get to government, the moment they're going to try to take as much as possible. Like, I have yet to see a person that doesn't negotiate his salary to gain more money. I want to see the fucking person that goes to negotiate their salary. You know, like a woke person. I want to see the wokest of the woke going to a job and saying, you know what? I don't deserve this much money, like too much resources. Give it to some other minority instead of me. Literally no one does that. So, there's another thing which is healthy, right? Like, this is normal. Like, everything that I'm talking here is part of the old normal, I guess. When human beings associate with each other, so let's say you have a housing association, or a tenant association. Well, they care about the tenant first, you know, they care about their neighborhood first. Like if you have a group of people that are from a neighborhood representing that neighborhood, they're going to care about that neighborhood first, right? They're not going to care about the neighborhood down the fucking street. Like, for example, right, in the village of my parents-in-law, right now, they have the opportunity to get gas. I know, shocking. Romania, what can I say? You know, they're in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Apparently, the gas duct finally arrived. But there is a problem, right? Like, the gas company can either give gas to their city, so to their village, or to another village, right? So, if their village goes first, then it's going to be 2 more years until the next village gets it. If the other village gets the gas, then it's going to be 2 more years until their village. You get what I mean, right? Like, they can't branch both villages at once. Do you think, like, one of the village goes, oh, well, you know, we have too many resources here, so we're going to check our privilege because historically the other village... No one fucking does that. They're like, no, the gas us first. Literally. They need gas to cook. Warm water. Heat the hose. The homes. So, it is human nature, right? Like, and also, like, if you have the mayor, like, the mayor should care about his city first. You don't want the mayor that cares about another city, right? Like, this is fucking normal. This is not rocket science. Right? The government should care about your nation first, which apparently is racist now. So, this is like the normal way of things, but unfortunately, you got people in the academia telling you, no. That's not true. That's not true. No. Like, you need to stop hoarding resources. You need to shut the fuck up. You know, like, you're a university professor. You probably have tenure. How much are you milking those students of all their cash? How much is student debt now, and how much are you making out of that? You sleazy fuck. This is why I do not understand why people listen to university professors that talk about oppression and, you know, equity and shit. Why is it equitable that a university professor gets paid so much? When the students are suffering from student debt, how is it the fault of the government for student debt and not the university professors? Let's see the conservatives being upset about the fact that masculinity is now considered harmful. It's a particular constellation of standards that have held sway over large segments of the population, including anti-femininity achievement. By the way, I don't think, like, traditional masculinity is anti-femininity. It basically teaches you, like, if you're a man, you know, act like a man. And you know, I really thought, like, what does it mean to act like a man? What is the essence of being a man? I don't know what the essence of being a woman is. But the essence of being a man is to have people depend on you. Right? Like, think about it. So, you are a man if tomorrow you die and there's people who suffer because of your absence. Not emotionally, but, like, physically, right? Like, you are providing them with income. Like, you are providing them with resources, and now that you're gone, their life is becoming very difficult. I think that's when you're a man. Right? So, because in order to be able to provide for others, you have to also provide for yourself. So, I think, like, the first part of, like, being a young adult is when you move out of your house and you are able to become independent. So you have your own job. Like you don't need money from mommy and daddy, right? Like that's when you become a young adult. And when you can provide for others, like you have children, you have a wife, right? Like you may help your parents, right? Like that's when you become a man. I think that's what it means, right? So like traditional masculinity is the ability to provide for others. I don't know what it means to be a woman. Like what is the essence of femininity? But I do know what is the essence for a man. So apparently, the psychological magazines say that the pressure boys and men feel to conform with certain aspects of traditional masculinity can lead to poor health outcomes, including higher rates of suicide, substance abuse, violence, and early death. Yeah, you know, like correlation doesn't equal causation. It's true that many boys end up like that. But I don't think it's like the pressure of being a man. I think it's like the pressure of finding a girlfriend, for example. Right? So you want to have, because every single human wants companionship. Like, we're not talking about sex, right? We're talking about like finding a significant other. So if you want to find like a woman, right? And you can't. You just don't know. And then society mocks you as an incel, which is pretty much like a terrorist. There is absolutely no one to teach you like how to behave, and you have like all of these journalists and all of these academics that tell you no, like in order to find a girlfriend, you know what you need to do? You need to be less masculine, because that's what women like. That's what women get moist on, being less masculine. Like every single woman, you ask them like, what do you want? And they're like, I want the less masculine boy available. I want a man that shows weakness. I want a man that is the pushover, right? Like he never stands for himself. Like let's look at the things that they consider, right? So okay, what are the things that they consider to be masculinity? And let's see how much women would like these following standards, right? So they would want a very feminine man that doesn't want to have any achievements, that is very weak and proud to show it, that doesn't want to have adventure, never takes risks, and is a pushover, right? How many women want this in a man? These attributes that I just mentioned. And this is like one of the main reasons that teenage boys are unhappy, because they do not know how to find a significant other. And when they can't, they're called incels, and society ridicules them further.